Guys, so the big question is there, what kind of food must I feed my puppy? So in this video, I've got a suggestion of a food brand that you can feed your puppy that is specifically for a large breed puppy. So hi, I'm Charles and you're watching Our Protection Dogs, a channel devoted to the raising, development and training of a protection dog. I'm going to ask this guy here a bunch of questions regarding a brand called NutriBite, and let's see what he's got to say. So today Marco Botha is joining us and he's from NutriBite, and the first thing I'd like to ask Marco is, Marco, please tell us, where did everything start? How did this dog nutrition business or company of yours start?
Hello Charles, hope you're well. We started in late 2014 when I graduated from varsity. I joined my father's company, which is called Vets Brands, which is a vet-only pet food and nutraceutical company. And basically when I started at his company only supplies to veterinarians through the veterinarian channel, and I told him, well, there's obviously a gap for a premium market pet food or pet nutrition company, and that's not vet only, that can basically be supplied to the public directly and to specialized pet stores and veterinarians as well. And then that's when we started NutriBite. So NutriBite started in late 2014, early 2015, and where we started with the first product called the Adult Maintenance.
Okay, Marco, obviously there's a lot of dog foods out there.
Yes.
And what makes your dog food special or unique?
Charles, NutriBite uses exclusively imported proteins, okay, so of chicken, turkey, and in some diets pork origin. The reason being that we only use imported proteins is the consistency of the product. The local proteins that you get, the consistency changes a lot because the demographic of South Africa is in such a way that our population eats most of animals that we slaughter for human consumption. So basically the imported proteins we get from Europe is very consistent, and they also follow the European standard and the AFCO standard as well as the AFMA standard. NutriBite also uses fixed formulations in all its products. We don't deviate from our recipe at all, so that means every single batch is made exactly the same, and this basically ensures and guarantees a consistent product with consistent nutrition and consistent and healthy nutrition for your dog then. NutriBite also uses a lot of nutraceutical compounds called like glucosamine, chondroitin, taurine, L-carnitine in most of its diets, or in all of its diets actually, to give basic support in conditions that dogs normally tend to suffer from, and this includes joint problems, hip dysplasia problems, digestive issues, especially with your younger dogs or puppies. So we add nutraceutical additives to the food to help the dog maintain or to help the dog and to get a better nutrition out of the food that it's feeding. We also include higher levels of rice into most of our diets because rice is a more digestible carbohydrate source than compared to maize or wheat or whatever. The nutrition is it's basically a fixed formula. We use only imported proteins. The fats and oils we use is from poultry origin, so we call it a poultry oil. With a very low, what they call it, a FFA content. Okay, so FFA is the free fatty acids in fats and oils, and the higher the FFA is, the lower the quality gets, and the more unstable the oil is. So we use a very low FFA poultry oil, which also gives you a higher level of omega-3 and 6 and higher levels of DHA and EPA, which a dog needs to for various health reasons and to give it the best coat and skin condition.
Okay, so a lot of the things that he's just mentioned out there sounds like a different language to me and like swear words. So if anybody of you would like to know more about the FFAs and the coccidiophilus and all that shit that he just spoke now, please put it in the comments below, ask your questions over there, and what we'll do is I'll get Marco to answer that more into detail. So the reason of this video is to introduce Marco, and also speak about his dog food. So if you want more in-depth answers on questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll make sure that he can explain to you what all those large swear words are. Okay, so Marco, what I would like you to ask you now is I would like to introduce your range of food, and then exactly who do you cater for? What kind of dogs, what breeds, or who do you cater for with all your food?
Okay, thank you, Charles. NutriBite currently has two ranges. We've got the premium range, and then we've got the specific super premium range. Okay, so in the premium range, we've got the adult maintenance, we've got the small bite adult maintenance, which is the same formula. The small bite is literally just a smaller kibble for smaller breeds. Then we've got a small to medium breed puppy. We've got a large to giant breed puppy, we've got a senior dog, and then we're also launching in the next few months a small bite senior. So this is specifically for your very old dogs that struggle to eat the bigger kibbles. Once again, it's the same formula, it's the same recipe, it's just the kibble size the differs to cater for a broader market and for all breeds alike. And then we've also got an adult cat food, which is basically a very good cat food with low levels of minerals to prevent struvite crystals. And then we've got the super premium range, which we're gonna get at now. Okay, so the NutriBite super premium range consists of two products currently, one being the Endurance that you guys use, and then the Mother's Miracle. So the Mother's Miracle is basically more a breeder or a kennel specific product, so it's a product specifically made for a mother when gestation has happened. The last 2 weeks of gestation, you would give the Mother's Miracle to the female, to the bitch, to basically give her extra nutrition before whelping and to stimulate milk production. The food is also a rehydratable product, so that means once the puppies are born and they start eating, you can literally take the food mixed with a little bit of warm water and mix it into like a porridge type of soft food for these puppies until they basically weaned and start going on to puppy food depending on what breed they are. So that's the Mother's Miracle. It's a very specialized product. It's a product that shouldn't be used directly after mating, because if you feed the Mother's Miracle too early in gestation, you might risk the puppies growing too large. So it's very important to start the Mother's Miracle only 2 weeks before whelping. And then the Endurance, that's the product that you guys use, and that's what the product that we started and formulated and launched specifically for your type of work with the dogs and the Malinois and the Dutchies and the Shepherds. So it's a very concentrated super premium product. It contains no corn, no wheat, and no gluten. So it's a very, very specialized product with a lot of protein and fat. It's got a 30% protein and a 20% fat, and then the protein consists of primarily turkey protein and then some chicken protein as well. The carbohydrates, we've got rice as a basis or as a base, and then we add ground oats to the product, which is a slow release energy carbohydrate for all the energy, and then we add specialized fiber ingredients like green peas to the product to basically help with better digestion. And then the product is also it also includes high levels of glucosamine and chondroitin, along with L-carnitine, which is a very important additive when it comes to muscle recovery as well as fat metabolism.
This is basically like the bodybuilding food for the dog world, or for the sports dogs. Excellent product, I must say, excellent product. One thing I do want to do, you mentioned about the cat food, and I think the cat food is like, it's a really good cat food. It gives a lot of energy to the cats, especially if they have to run away from your Malinois and your Dutch Shepherd. So just bear that in mind for all the cat lovers out there. You need a good food for your cat so they can run away from these dogs if they get chased. So I want to ask a question that has already been answered while we were talking about it, but I want to like do this, and I want to put like emphasis on the next one. And Marcus, a specific, if you're looking for food, and we've said this in our previous video, if you're looking for food, look for a food that specifies, that's specific for the size of the breed or the size of the puppy. Or in this case, I would like to ask you, what of your foods cater for especially a dog like, for instance, mine, which is a sports dog, and that falls under a working dog, basically a dog that trains every day and is expected to basically function at a very high level of energy consuming.
Charles, that would definitely be the endurance product. The endurance is also what we call an all life stage diet or product, so that means it is safe to feed for working breed puppies. Okay, so you can because of the calcium phosphorus ratio being 1.1 to 1, it will allow the puppy to grow at the correct pace, so the tendon and the bone doesn't grow too fast, and it prevents the knuckling. So the endurance product you can feed to working dog or working breed puppies, but the endurance is the product that you should be feeding. It's like I said, it's a very concentrated product. It's got high levels of protein, it's got high levels of fat, it's got some higher levels of carbohydrates that the dogs also need to burn in it, or the energy that they need when they're working hard or when they're training hard. So the endurance is definitely the product I would advise you to use, and simply being that it is a super premium product. It doesn't contain any corn or wheat or gluten, so and the protein levels are high enough and the fat levels are high enough. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people think that the higher the protein is, the better the product. That's not necessarily the case. You do need higher levels of fat, as that is the biggest energy source that your dog can get from any nutrition that it gets or eats. So I would recommend using the endurance as a working dog breed diet, and that's how we developed the endurance as well, is for that reason specifically. If you're going to feed endurance to a dog that's placid, that sits at home the whole day and doesn't work or doesn't run around, the dog will get overweight and it will put extra strain on its organs. So if you feed the endurance, please make sure that your dog has got the release of the energy that it needs, and that it will train at least 20 to an hour a day at high capacity or high activity.
Okay, so that'll be like training or working, if I'm thinking especially like your working breeds or working dogs at airports or anything like that.
Yes.
Where they constantly have to go through the sniffer dogs. They're working at a very high pace over here, so they need something really extra. I mean, and the brain consumes a lot of energy as well, so they really need a good quality food.
Yeah.
Okay, Marco, when I'm thinking of, especially for my puppy, and I'm looking at a product like, for instance, their large breed to giant breed puppies, because I'm thinking of my Malinois and my Dutch Shepherd.
Yes.
How do you guys suggest, to feed the NutriBite, how much do you feed the puppy? How many times a day do you feed the puppy? At what ages do you change? So basically your feeding regime for a puppy.
Okay. Charles, yeah, like you mentioned, we've got two different types of puppy food. We've got a small to medium breed puppy, we've got a large giant breed puppy. The simple reason for that is smaller breeds grow for a shorter period of time, while larger breeds, and the larger the breed is, actually the longer the dog grows, and that's why you need to separate the two. And that's also got to do specifically with that calcium to phosphorus ratio. If you give unbalanced puppy food to a larger giant breed puppy with an unbalanced calcium to phosphorus ratio, you do risk the dog getting knuckling or getting joint issues, as the bone will grow too fast for the tendon. So firstly, it's very important to distinguish what size of breed do you have, and we recommend any dog with a expected adult weight of 20 kgs or more is a large giant breed puppy. Anything smaller than that, the cutoff would be more or less your King Cavalier Spaniels would be a medium breed, and then anything from a boxer, pointer, GSPs, German short-haired pointers, or anything bigger would then basically fall into the large giant breed category. And like the Malinois that you guys use, the Dutch Shepherds, the German Shepherds, the Rottweilers, all of them are large giant breed puppies, so you would definitely feed the large giant breed puppy food. The ideal would be for puppies to be fed 3 times a day, depending on their activity. at smaller intervals, because within, like with humans also, small babies has got a very sensitive digestive system. So the more you feed the dog throughout the day, smaller feedings a day, it would be beneficial for the puppy to get smaller feedings more regularly throughout the day. I would say 3 about per day.
All right. So one thing, if you listen to what Dr. Leanne said in our previous video, she spoke exactly about that. Dog growing, bigger dogs, the growth about it, and the bones not reaching up. So you don't want the dog to grow too fast. You want the dog to grow slow, so that everything can basically come together at the right time of its life. And this is exactly why these foods are formulated. Another thing that I would just really like to say, if you heard the way the puppies are fed 3 times a day, nothing about a self-feeder or anything like that, or food that's standing over there.
Ad-lib, yes.
Yeah, you don't want to go that way. This is not healthy for your pup, first of all. It's not healthy. And a lot of times blame the dog food. And then you guys have to find out that the dog is eating itself into a stupor, getting sick of all the food. And it's not because of the actual food, but it's the quantities that these poor dogs have to get.
Puppies puppies, I want to compare them to children, but you can't really. But you can to some extent. It's like a child eating too many sweets. He knows he shouldn't do it. The puppy doesn't know that. He will keep eating and keep eating because the taste of the food is nice, and he likes the taste of the food. So you do need to be very strict on how you feed a dog, and I would not advise ad-lib feeding for any puppy, especially for a working dog breed diet, working dog, because the dog needs to burn that energy before it starts working. Otherwise, you risk that gastric dilation torsion syndrome as well.
Okay, so guys, if you hear dogs in the background and stuff like that, I've spoken about this before. We ain't professional video makers over here. We deal with dogs every day of our lives. We train them. So unfortunately, I haven't trained or have the technique to shut my dogs up. When they want to bark, they want to bark. Okay, Marcus, so now I've got my Malinois pup or my Dutch Shepherd puppy, and I've been feeding it puppy food.
Yes.
When would I start feeding a product like, for instance, the Endurance or a adult food? When am I going to start with that?
Okay. Charles, our common law, as you might call it, any large to giant breed puppy should be on puppy food up until 24 months of age. Most people advise up until 18 months, but I've seen no reason why a puppy, especially a growing puppy, and like I said earlier, the bigger the breed is, the longer you should feed puppy food. So up until 24 months is perfectly fine, in my opinion. If the dog is not doesn't start working at a very high pace, and you want to switch it to Endurance. So the simple answer would be up until 24 months. If you start working the puppy at an earlier age, very high drive working, then you can start feeding it the Endurance as well.
At what age would you start the Endurance? Like, let's say, for instance, like the Malinois that we've got, it's either going to sports, we're doing a lot of work with it. At what age would you suggest can I move from the puppy to the Endurance with a Malinois or a Dutchie?
Yeah, like I mentioned, the Endurance is an all life stage diet, so you can technically feed the Endurance from the start when the puppy starts working. But I would say anything from a year, just over a year, you can start feeding the Endurance, depending on the activity and the drive of the dog as well.
All right. So I think Marco he did mention it, the reason why also with that calcium ratio and all sorts of stuff like that, you can start feeding them the Endurance. So if you've got any questions regarding that, because it does sound like now weird because we start feeding the dogs earlier with a product like that, pop those questions down in our comment section, and I'll get Marco to answer those questions for us.
Yeah, that's true, Charles. Every scenario is different. Every dog is different. Some dogs or some puppy dogs systems might not accommodate the Endurance because it's so concentrated, because it's high in fat, because it's high in protein. So then I would keep the dog on a more or toned down food like the large giant breed puppy. But if you've got a very high drive dog and the dog needs extra energy that the puppy food doesn't provide for him, then you can switch over to endurance. But like Charles said, every scenario is different, so please, you're more than welcome to ask your questions, and I will answer them according to each scenario, like mentioned.
Just don't ask for discount, because then all of a sudden you wouldn't know how to read and stuff like that. Marco, why would you suggest somebody to consider feeding their dogs NutriBite? Why would you say to people that say, I'm considering doing it, why should I consider doing it?
Charles, I think it's based on one word and one word alone, and that's trust. So NutriBite is really a brand that you can trust. It's a very open brand. We like to communicate to clients in all levels, from formulation, production, from where the bag leaves the factory till you get it in your home. So it's really any dog. There's a lot of dog food brands on the market, but it's all got to do with trust and the fixed formulation, like I mentioned as well. I know there are some dog food manufacturers that have open formulations, so they use raw materials that they can source at that specific time, and I don't believe in that. I believe it's an unhealthy way to do it. We don't do it at all, and anyone is more than welcome to contact me and ask for a site visit, a factory visit, and we would gladly take you through our facility and show you from step 1 till step 40 or 50, depending on what product it is, on the production procedure, and we can give you peace of mind.
I must just as a client, they do have a very good client relationship. If I need to know something, or maybe something doesn't look right to me, or something happened, they're very quickly on that. Maybe something happened to the bag that it didn't look like the previous stuff, they're very quickly on that. Mistakes do happen, but I must say the mistakes that we've ever had was not a manufacturing mistake or something like that. It was more a mistake of a human mistake made by a client having the bag lie on the back of his vehicle for a day or two and getting hot, stuff like that. So, but they do take care of their clients. I must admit to that. That's, you guys do that very well.
Thanks, Charles. Yeah. Yes. Also on our website, the Contact Us tab, my detail is there, my personal cell phone number is there, my email is there. So anyone is more than welcome to contact me directly. You don't have to work through a sales representative or like a call center or anything. My detail is on the website and on the back of the bags, as well as the back of the brochure and on most marketing material. My personal number is on there. And that's how serious I am about this brand and my product. I would like to engage with the client on a personal level and not just via a streamlined level or communication channel.
So what we'll do is in the comment section we will leave a link below regarding NutriBite. Go onto their website. It's a very easy website to go through. Store locators, anything, shows you where they sell the food and which is the closest to you. So just check out the link below. So Marco, one question I ask the vets, I ask the nutrition guys, and it's like a controversial question out there, you know. Yes. What I'm saying, and I am going to give everybody the opportunity to state why and things, but one thing I want to ask you, how do you feel about raw, feeding your dog raw? It's a big thing out there. What do you what do you think? How do you feel about that?
Charles, to be very honest, this is not my level of expertise. Most of the research that I did, studies that I did not include raw feeding, as it's a very small niche market type of thing. And I think that's how you should handle it. It's a very specialized nutrition field, and there's not a lot of people that do it. I see more and more companies are popping up and selling raw and supplying raw, especially to dog food or to dog trainers and to dog owners. But the biggest problem with raw, and that you can read all over the world, is the potential of contamination. So you need to be very, very entrusted to your supplier supplying raw, not supplying you with a product contaminated by E. coli or Salmonella, or any other bacteria-based infections or parasites. So I'm not going to say yes for it. I'm neither going to say no for it. I think there is a place for raw feeding, definitely. But like I said, that's not my expertise, and all that I can say is please make sure you trust your supplier. That's all I can say. And the raw feeding, in my opinion, personal opinion, you need to have some form of balance into the food, and I'm not sure how balanced a solid raw diet is or can be, especially on a vitamin and mineral level. I do not know of a lot of raw feeding companies that supplement their product with vitamins and minerals that your dog actually needs.
Right, so Marco, if I look now, I've got my puppy, nothing wrong with it, normal, healthy puppy. I'm feeding it giant breed or the large breed puppy food. Is there anything else that I need to put into it, extra calcium or extra something into it that I need to do?
Most definitely not, Charles. Not at all. Especially calcium. That's the worst thing that you can give a growing puppy, and it will totally throw out the calcium to phosphorus ratio that I mentioned earlier in a growing dog. So if you've got a beautifully healthy puppy, nothing wrong with the puppy, the vet checked it, all is fine, I would say just keep it on the puppy food, stick to the feeding schedule, stick to the feeding regime like we mentioned earlier, and get it checked by a vet regularly just to make sure there isn't a predisposed condition like hip dysplasia or any joint problem or any health problem that might occur. But I would say just keep the dog on the large giant breed puppy food, and have it examined by a vet regularly.
Okay, so something I'd like to bring in there now when Marco spoke about hip dysplasia or elbow dysplasia. So have a look out for our up and coming video where we're going to have an interview with a vet who specializes in hip and elbow dysplasia. We're going to ask him questions, and he's going to get into depth about hip and elbow dysplasia and what it is, prevention thereof, and management of it. So the next, let's carry on over there now. With that is, you've mentioned to me that you guys are starting a supplement range, and are currently, well, I have seen some of your supplements previously that you did supply to us regarding management of things like that. What is your supplement range that you're bringing out now for working dogs with hip dysplasia that actually need extra supplementation?
Charles, the range would be called NutriMed. Okay, so it's basically a subsidiary of NutriBite feeds, and this range would basically have a different product range, like joint products, probiotic. We'll have a skin and coat conditioning product. We'll have a omega-3 supplement as well, just for extra omega-3 and DHA and EPA. And on the joint products, we're going to do 3 different products. We're going to do the Maxi Joint, then we'll do a Maxi Joint Ultra, and then we'll do a Maxi Joint Arthritis. Okay, so the Maxi Joint, the standard or the normal Maxi Joint, would be a very good subsidiary joint product for any dog that might have a condition later in life, a joint condition. Like I mentioned, if you're working with a predisposed breed, okay, for hip dysplasia or any joint health related issue. Mm-hmm. The Maxi Joint Ultra would basically cater for what you guys are doing, specifically made for working dogs, agility dogs, and anti-poaching or human tracking dogs. Okay, so this is a very specialized joint product that gives you the ultimate joint chondroprotective properties in the joint while the dog is working at a very high pace. And then the last product would be the Maxi Joint Arthritis, which would be more pain stilling type of product for your older dogs. So this is basically for dogs that the cartilage and the joint is so damaged and it can't be really repaired, so you need to help the dog then numb the pain, and this is the Nutrimed, the Maxi Joint Arthritis catered for that need then.
Okay, Marco, what is if I'm thinking of the product that you now just suggested for your working dog, and for that, what is in that supplement that makes it so special or makes it unique?
Charles, it will still be the 3 most common ingredients: the glucosamine, the chondroitin, and the green nut mussel. But then we would add the ASU, which is the avocado soybean unsaponifiables. It's a very strange word, but that's what they call it, which has made very, very, very good headway in latest research in chondroprotective properties in the joint itself. And then we would also supplement the Maxi Joint Ultra with collagen type 2, which is also a very great chondroprotective support product for a working dog joint. Yeah.
Okay, so this is really exciting to think, because if you think of the amount of work that these working dogs go through, or a sports dog goes through. I'm not talking about just a competition, I'm talking about the everyday training. I know of clubs out there, we ourselves train literally every day with our dogs, and it's jumping, and it's up, and it's down, and it's things like that. And if I'm thinking of an athlete like a football player, or a rugby player, or a soccer player, or even a long distance marathon athlete, their system takes a beating. Yes. They all need something extra. Yes. And it only makes sense to me that an animal like a dog that it was basically an athlete is going to need something extra. So this is really, it's exciting to me for this product to come out, and we really excited to test it out on our dogs, because it does make a difference for them. And I would like to compete with my dog as long as possible, and I would also like to keep his body in a good condition for when he is retired, that he doesn't become like me with a sore hip and a sore knee and all those kind of nonsense. So you want to look after their bodies. So we're very excited about that product coming through as well, Marco.
Thank you, Charles.
All right. So guys, I hope that what we've done here today gives you a little bit of background about feeding your dog. He did bring up some really, really big words that I don't even know how to pronounce or spell. It sounded like damn swear words to me. But if you'd like to ask, again, if you'd like to ask questions regarding those big damn words that he used there, or don't know what they are, put it in the question, the what? Comments below. Okay, and then from there we can get Marco to answer those for you. And please, if there's anything else that you'd like to know about nutrition or anything like that, let us know. Maybe we can make a special video on that as well. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a cheers from me.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.